is up, you guys? Oh, man, that was a bit of a disappointment that the University of Hawaii men's basketball team had at UC Irvine. And they would lose in overtime 87-76. Going to get into that really briefly because they do play at Long Beach State. I'm sure they're going to win that one. And they have to, because I'd hate for them to come away with 2 losses. But in the meantime, remember, subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to, or if you just want to see some more of my games. And let's get into this. UH falls at Irvine 87-76 in OT. Was UH out of gas physically? It looked that way to me because for about 90% of that game, UH had Irvine's number. Make no mistake, they had their pace, and they stuck around like glue, just like in the home matchup on January 10th when Hunter Erickson stung them with a buzzer beater, and they ended up winning that one. And the unfortunate part was Irvine kind of gave them a little bit at the end of the first half when Andre Henry hit a triple at the buzzer, but UH managed to fight back. They kind of had one of their little spells where they don't even score aside from free throws anyway. But still, for UH to come back and take them to overtime, one of the perennial front runners at their place anyway, that's speaking a lot of volumes that UH really came prepared for the season. And had they not committed as many turnovers as Irvine did, they did force a lot of Irvine turnovers, which is good. But unfortunately, UH kind of played a little sloppy themselves. Unfortunately, UH had 15 turnovers as well. Hunter Erickson had the most of them with an egregious 8. And I'm sure that came up in the locker room with Coach Ganot and the team. Unfortunately, they won't be winning in Irvine anytime soon because that was the last time UH will play against Irvine at Irvine as a member of the Big West. But still, I would probably give that game a B+ because they were still able to find a way to compete with Irvine. They were down 10 at halftime and then got back in it with a 12-2 run. And fortunately, University of Hawaii was able to take the lead on occasion. But of course, Irvine, they got answers somewhere. They answered with a 10-0 run down the stretch. But fortunately, in the final minute, UH hit a couple of critical triples from Rouhliadeff and Isaac Johnson. And Isaac Johnson came up big to lead UH with 17. He scored that all in the first half. Or excuse me, the second half, rather. The unfortunate part was, when overtime came around, it seemed like UH had run out of gas because they ended up losing in OT 15-4. And as soon as Irvine scored the first 7 points in overtime, I had a feeling that UH was dead in the water, and unfortunately I was right. It made me wonder if UH may have emptied the tank or emptied their tanks at all, because it seemed like once Irvine scored those first 7 points, that was it. It was checkmate, and UH ended up losing that one. And that was unfortunate. That was first place in the Big West. I think we're still good in the standings. I think we're still good as far as making it to the Big West tournament is concerned. And obviously we're in a tie with UC Santa Barbara for second place in the standings. Unfortunately, Santa Barbara owns the tiebreaker because they beat us at their place, which is unfortunate. The start was everything, and UH just did not get that, just like in overtime. They did not get the start. And I hope that Ganot and the others, Ganot and the coaching staff, went at the team hard as far as starts are concerned, because they needed a good start in overtime, and it just seemed like they were out of gas physically. That's just my take on it. I could be wrong, but then again, you never know. Again, basketball is another sport where it could go either way. One guy could light it up, and another guy could not light it up. Your star player could not light it up. But still, UH was definitely no match for Kyle Evans. He had all 7 of Irvine's blocks, and that was totally I got nothing but respect for that kid, but still, 7 blocks from one player on a team is definitely one that you is definitely one stat you do not forget. Just like with Hunter Erickson having 8 turnovers in a single game. I don't think Erickson played terribly. I just think he could have done better. And he didn't really have a disastrous game overall. It's just that 8 turnovers, you got to definitely do better there. But I think it was just one of those games where it seemed like they were coming at a premium, But still, you can't say that UH didn't try, because they certainly did. And fortunately, they didn't get any karma handed to them when Irvine's Harrison Carrington went for a buzzer beater himself, but it bounced out, and we went to overtime. And unfortunately, the overtime period went to Irvine. And the unfortunate part is that overtime normally goes to the home team, but it doesn't always work out like that. Unfortunately, this was one of those times where it did go to the home team. And that's unfortunate for sure. But still, you can't say UH didn't try, because they sure as hell did. I hope that they can use this as fire for the Long Beach State game and come out winning by a big margin there. And that's where I'll leave it. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. Thought I'd keep it a little short. And remember, subscribe, and I'll see you all after the Long Beach State game. Go Bows!